In this video, we're going to talk about your assignment 5, which is your assessment plan and implementation of your intervention. Assignment 5 is really putting together all of the information that you've collected in your past few assignments for your formal assessment for the bulk of this class. Ultimately, you are going to follow some guidelines and produce a 3 to 5 page paper, which will be in APA format. There are some additional links which are on the syllabus, which I have up here, so that you can submit this assignment both through your learning management system and through TK20. There is a rubric which is linked right on this page so that you can review that rubric with how this will be graded. So let's go to the assignment guidelines. So first you are going to discuss your assessment plan. And these items 1, 2, and 3 are all based off of the assignments that you have previously done. So first in assignment 1, this generally is going to be your PLEF statement. You can add some more information that you may have received from assignments 2 or potentially even assignments 1 to talk about what's happening in a particular classroom. But you can use your PLEF for this particular portion. Next, you are going to have your IEP goal in number 2 that you have focused on. And in number 3, you are going to talk about your progress monitoring plan. So this would be outlined first in your information from the end of assignment 3, which was writing IEP goals, where you outlined your plan and identified your progress monitoring protocol. And then you're going to talk about your first point of data collection for how you established a baseline for this particular student and this task. In part 2, we are going to look at your intervention, the results, and how you interpreted these results. So first you're going to have a description of your intervention and rationale. Here is where you might be citing some particular resources that, again, link this to a research-based approach. After I go through this, I will show you some resources that you can use to find some articles or journals that might be related to your particular topic. So going down after part 1, looking at part 2, you're going to report your results. This can come directly from your assignment 4, which was progress monitoring. You can include your graph as well as your narrative that you have produced. Be sure that you are implementing the feedback that you received on these assignments into this entire project. Finally, you are going to talk about the next steps. Some of this might come from your reflection that you wrote in your last assignment. In addition to your reflection, you should be talking about what is next for this particular student. That was touched on in your reflection, but again, for this report, you really want to lean into that. What is next for this student in terms of the results of your intervention? Looking at some of the resources for you, right on the syllabus, there is a link to the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and this gives you information about APA formatting. It will talk about the title page, how to set up a running head, as well as a title, and it will also give you information about how to set up your particular headings. You do not need an abstract for this paper. It will also tell you how to cite information that you have received. On your left-hand column, you can view a sample paper. You can get some information about headings as well as your references. You can either, these are broken down in various categories such as books, electronic sources, as well as journals and non-print sources. One thing to keep in mind that we are citing research-based literature. So it is not appropriate for you to cite things such as Pinterest or Teachers Pay Teachers. We want to make sure that what we are citing comes from a reputable source. So next I'm going to take you over to the Rowan website, which is a place where you'll be able to get some of the literature to dive into research behind your intervention. So I am going to do a search for an intervention. Maybe you are using Read 180. And here we're going to have different information which will come up related to various pieces of research that are related to our topic. So I am looking here and I have information right here from our very own Jay Cooter on Read 180 instructions. So here I can pull up this piece of information and read this knowing that it is a trusted resource. So I can go here and I can click on the resource link, and additionally I can click citation and I can copy this right here and put that into my work. One thing you want to make sure that you're doing is turning on from MLA to APA. So here we go. We're going to copy that and then put that right into our work. Another place you can get some literature is from Google Scholar. I find that sometimes the citations for Google Scholar and the search engine behind Google Scholar is a little bit easier to navigate than the Campbell website. One thing that I typically do is I might find something on Google Scholar, cite something on Google Scholar, and then find the full article through Campbell Library. But oftentimes you get more generic searches from Google Scholar. So maybe I am looking up phonemic awareness if I'm working with a younger student, and I can go here and there are various articles. I want to make sure that I'm using something current, so I'm going to look at research that has been conducted since 2015, and here I have a great deal of information. I can look how many times a particular article has been cited. This article has been cited 160 times, so it has to have some strong evidence in here that I might want to read. So I'm going to click cited by 160, and now I have all of this information for who cited this particular book. And here I can see some even stronger sources with more information. So I'm going to go back to the article that we were looking at, and I'll show you how to pull up a citation. It's just using, again, these quotation marks, and here I go. Here's my APA citation that I can drop into my paper. Doing this, I would probably copy and paste the title here, and then go head over to the Campbell Library. Make sure that I add that in, and then the article should pop right up. Again, I think it's easier to sort things sometimes in Google Scholar, and here is our article. Notice this peer review tab, which again say that this is a strong article for us to use and cite. So I would pull this article up, read through the article, and pull out information that is relevant to my particular intervention. So again, that's just a brief overview of how to find articles using the Rowan website. One thing to keep in mind is that you need to be logged on through your Rowan account. So if you're on campus, make sure that you are on one of the Rowan networks. If not, make sure you sign in to access all of the Rowan library. That again is a brief overview of assignment 5. You are working to create your own template, and I highly recommend that you use headings that are related to each of these parts here. So your first heading would be assessment plan, and then you can have a heading for each of these numbers. And then again, your next major heading, intervention, results and implementation, and then a heading for each of these areas, followed by your references. Remember that you are citing 3 to 4 references in this assignment. If you have any questions, please contact your instructor.